When we first moved into our motorhome full-time, winter was coming, and everyone said it would be the hardest time of year to go full-time. But if you've seen our previous videos, you'll know it wasn't exactly planned that way. We had to escape our house for reasons I won't go into again, but we were very glad to have the motorhome to move into. Our friends were right, full-time in the van during winter is hard. Your world contracts into the space inside your vehicle, but you still have to brave the outside and the cold and the wet to do all your daily chores like emptying the toilet and finding water, etc. We discovered that Melvyn the motorhome...
Hello, I'm Melvyn the motorhome.
...had drafts in places we didn't even know he had places, but we sealed them all up, and thankfully he did keep us warm and dry for the most part. It feels like it's been a really long winter, but the arrival of our first spring living in the van feels like no other spring either of us has ever experienced before. In this video, we want to talk about how we survived the winter living full-time in the motorhome, and how wonderful it is to experience the arrival of spring here in the New Forest.
Welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back.
It's a beautiful April's day in spring. No, it's even a spring day in April, and the sunshine is out, it's warm, and we're just doing a catch-up. Winter in a van is not pleasant. It's not awful. Clive, hello Clive.
A van life guru in a lot of ways.
And Clive said to us that you're starting van life, in winter, it's the hardest point. And to tell you what, he was right.
I think living in a van, you bring yourself so much closer to nature because you haven't got the protection around you that you have in a bricks and mortar house. You feel the elements, you feel the cold, but you also feel connected to the wildlife and the trees and everything that's around you. So it's a good and a bad, really. I prefer it, even when it was cold and wet, I preferred it in the van.
Definitely. Being able to just step outside and go for lovely walks with the dog and stuff.
Lots of warm layers on.
Oh gosh, yeah, warm layers. That was the one thing I really struggled with, was the cold. I don't like being cold. I don't think anybody really does. There was times, even with the new heating system, well, I felt I just couldn't get warm. So yeah, it was the cold. What about you?
Just not being able to go in and out of the van and have the door and the windows open. In the winter, you're just confined to the box. You do have to go outside every day to get water, get rid of waste. It is challenging.
One of the big issues in winter, of course, is the lack of solar. Anybody living off-grid ultimately needs power, even if it's just to charge a mobile phone and have some lighting. We did eventually crack that just towards the end of winter. We had to end up getting a generator.
People talk about surviving on solar or driving with the alternator power in the van. Unless you're doing a lot of driving, you can't really do that. So we were booking onto an electric pitch, like maybe once a week, just to top up the batteries.
Just give them a full recharge.
Thought, this is silly doing this. We're not really living off grid doing this. So we got the generator.
Yeah, we'll talk about the generator in another video. So if you want to find out how you can keep your leisure batteries basically fully topped up in the middle of winter with just a little generator that costs less than £300 using a power bank, you must subscribe, because we'll be covering that in future videos.
Yeah, you worked out a brilliant way of doing it, running the generator for as little time as possible a day. It was great.
Yeah, it is.
But that's the fabulous thing about the coming of spring. Well, it's so many fabulous things. But having free electricity, it's amazing. Now we could charge up in an hour from solar, fully charged.
Yeah, it's brilliant. What else was difficult about winter?
Well, you have to keep getting gas all the time to run the heating, and the heating uses electricity as well, so winter is expensive.
Because we've got a gas refillable system, so we'll talk about that as well and what benefits that brought to us, and why we chose to do that over fitting a diesel heater, because that was on the cards.
We've got 2 different gas systems, and we're so glad that we had the 2, because we would have been shafted if we only had the 1.
Can you say shafted? What do you think? Shafted? Is that a bad word?
To shaft or not to shaft?
Now, God. So what have you noticed now about spring?
We've stayed around the New Forest because we love it so much. And the first signs, come on then, jump up. Well, the birds, more and more birds every day. You noticed them, didn't you?
Looking the wrong way. People don't want to see your bum.
You notice everything, don't you, in the van about the changing of the seasons? Every new leaf. The first daisy I saw, I was so excited to see the first daisy. Butterflies, the first butterflies.
We are very fortunate to be able to be here.
Been surrounded by ponies. There are donkeys here.
And piggies. So yeah, you're going to show people about springtime in the New Forest. And also some footage of Keeva being a bog woppet.
Yeah, we had some adventures. There are some things you've got to be aware of, like the different types of ground. There's a lot of bog around, and the bog looks like it's solid ground. There's this plant called sphagnum moss, which grows in like a green carpet, and you think, oh, I'll just walk across there, and you just sink into it like a sponge, and then your wellies get sucked off when you try and pull your feet out. It can be very dicey at times.
Yes, we avoid that. Well, I do anyway.
And some sketchy moments where I thought I was just going to be found as a skeleton and standing in a pair of stuck wellies. We'd love to share with you the changing of the seasons as we continue our off-grid van life in the New Forest. So we hope you will stick with us, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, so we can continue to bring you more tips about van life, accessories, essential gear and how-tos. We'll share our ups and downs as we struggle to make the most out of this alternative life we've chosen. Hopefully to live cleaner, greener and save money, and have more time to enjoy the simple things in this beautiful world. And where the tall wellies down here. Ooh. Get a bit muddy, lovey. You had fun though, didn't you? Yeah, we'll have to give you a bath. Here it looks like there's been a fire. It's very sad to see that, the gorse all burnt. That's why they tell you don't have barbecues out here. Just bring a picnic instead. It's what the gorse should look like this time of year. Part of the forest code is that you don't approach the wild animals, the ponies and the donkeys that live here, but they're very used to people, so you can sort of walk near them and they'll come towards you sometimes, but you can't touch them or feed them. It's the first day of spring, official spring. The clocks went forward and we all can sit outside now. It's so warm. I'm doing some painting. The Pickle's got her little sun lounger out here. Cheers. We feel so lucky every day we wake up here. We know how lucky we are. It's fun. If you like my paintings, they will be available as prints from our website soon, or from some local shops if you're visiting the New Forest.
So keep watching, please subscribe to our little channel and help it grow a bit bigger.
Yeah, subscribe. See you next time.
Au revoir. Pickle, I'm afraid, has just made the most horrendous stink. Come on, Pickle, come on.
Yeah, there you go. Oh no! Breach of the wellies. Oh, wet feet. Oh no. Really intensely. As a donkey. You feel as a donkey, it sounds like a dinosaur.